So a few videos ago, I made a video talking about Marvel's Phases 5 and 6, and how I think they look dull, and that I think there's too much. It's oversaturating itself. Well, Disney listened, not just to me, but the fan base as a whole. Everyone collectively pretty much had the same thoughts. Felt rushed. I'm in town hall mode. Marvel Phase 4 felt rushed. It felt like there was too much in too short period. There was more content in Phase 4 than we had in the Infinity Saga. Infinity Saga was 10 years. Well, over 10 years. It was actually 11. Phase 4 was 2.5. Yet there was more content due to all the series. But it was noticeable. All the CGI felt rushed. And the actual people that made the video effects felt rushed. They were hitting a deadline that was unreachable. And well, that was planned to stay. For Phases 5 and 6, that was planned to be the same. Now we have inside sources here, and we thought they sounded a bit off. Because it sounded like, well, we got told that they scrapped Phases 5 and 6. Why would they do that? Sure, it might have bad reception, but they still made money. And then a piece of information came out from Disney themselves. Bob Chapek is gone, and Bob Iger is back in his place. Well, that kind of shows us that, hang on a minute, that might mean that the original vision for 5 and 6, they may be gone because that was Bob Chapek's. And Bob Iger himself said that he thinks Marvel's Phases 4 was rushed and 5 and 6 are not good. So the chances are we might see a complete re-go at Phases 5 and 6. So what does that mean for the stuff we've seen? Well, I would scrap 90% of it. Phases 5 and 6, as we know it, forget about it. That may not be what we get now. Yes, we may get the content eventually, and sure, it may be the same amount of content in those phases, but the dates may be wrong, and also some of the content may be scrapped. For example, who's to say that we do get the 2 Avengers films? They haven't been started yet. Sure, they may be slightly on screenwriting or whatever, but they've not started filming. And even if they have, well, it could be scrapped. What do we do know? Well, the stuff we've already seen a trailer for likely is going to remain. So stuff like Ant-Man, stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, those will probably remain as they are, untouched, because they've already been done. They're on the finishing stages. I don't think they'll waste that much money and just throw it out the way. That would be a poor choice. So we may have to suffer through a couple of poor Phase 4-y type content. Who knows? They may be good. I really hope they do. The trailers look really good. But for the most part, we may have to suffer through a couple of films before we get back to what Marvel originally was. We may get the original 3 phases back in terms of the content we got. Bob Iger stated himself that he thinks Marvel should return to what we were like in the Infinity Saga, focusing on that quality rather than the quantity. And that's not what Phase 4 had. So I think, personally, what I think, if this data leak is true, which it seems to be, it's from a valid source, and this information we've got since that leaks came out seems to follow the trend that it's true, I would say that it's likely to happen. So I think scrap off what you know about Phases 5 and 6, other than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Forget about the rest. Sure, some things may happen. For example, the Marvels, I believe that will happen. Whether that's the same as what it currently is, or whether they change it completely, I don't know. I don't work for Disney, so I have no idea. I could be making this all up. Who knows? But it's good to fanboy about these things because, well, That's what it's there for. So, what are my personal opinions on this? What do I think could happen? Well, I think Bob Iger probably going to do a good job. He seemed to agree with the fan base where Phases 1 to 3 were great, Phases 4 is not great. There were some gems like Shang-Chi, like Spider-Man No Way Home. But overall, as a collective, Phase 4 sucked. In terms of Marvel content, it was not great at all. It focused too much on numbers for Disney Plus, didn't focus enough on what the people watching the shows and the films actually want. One piece of information was that they stated that a lot of the shows were pumped out quickly for Disney Plus content only because the Disney Plus numbers were too low. So they pumped out more Marvel stuff because there's a lot of Marvel fans that would want to watch it. And the only way to watch it is on Disney Plus. They will buy the content. And although that would technically work in terms of theory, in practice, well, it clearly hasn't worked as great as they thought because everyone's unhappy. So I think that we will cut down on a lot of the numbers. And Phases 5 and 6, let's say we get the same content we've seen. I think it might be stretched out. So rather than be done in 5 years, they may stretch it to 10. And then instead of having, let's say, Phase 5 being a 2-year period, maybe 4, maybe 5 years. So the content, I think, will remain the same, mostly. But I think it might be stretched out to give the video effects more time, to give the writing more time, to give the acting more time, and to give people a break that people deserve. Because the video effect artists have been put to too much work. And I think that they deserve a slight slowdown, a bit of a pacer. Rather than just focusing on a deadline, focus on a quality for a deadline. So I think that this is a good change. I think Bob Iger has the capabilities to turn things around and let Kevin Feige do what he needs to do. Because we know now that Kevin Feige did not make a lot of the decisions that went into Phase 4. And that sucks because Kevin Feige was the reason the Infinity Saga worked. And to not give him the reign for Phase 4 and to show that it didn't work kind of shows that we need a figurehead like Kevin Feige, like Bob Iger, to come in and to work it. Don't know what I just did with my hands, but you get the point. I think it's a good change. I honestly do. I think Phases 5 and 6 are going to work now. Whether it does or not is a different question, but I do solemnly believe that this is a good change. Obviously, we haven't seen anything yet, and a lot of the stuff that's now getting pumped out, I think it's going to work. I think it's going to hit. I think Marvel is returning to its former glory of the Infinity Saga. I think finally we're coming to see the Marvel we know and love, and the Marvel we've missed out on for since 2019. I think that the fall was kind of unnecessary, and I think a lot of it was numbers rather than quality. And I think now we are coming to see that, and it's turning around, and we're slowly starting to see quality creep back in. Obviously, we've not seen any of it yet, but there's always a chance. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you have enjoyed, please do drop a like. And if you want to see any more content on Marvel, please hit that subscribe button. I can see who's subscribed. There's currently 60% of you that aren't subscribed. But I can also see how many people subscribe from a video. And that shows me that you guys want to see more Marvel content. So if you do want to see more Marvel content on this channel, then please let me know by hitting that subscribe button on this channel. If you're on mobile, swipe up, hit subscribe. If you're on desktop, minimize the video slightly and hit the subscribe button. And turn the notification bell on to see if I do make another Marvel video. Or if you just want to see more of me in general. But anyway, that's going to do it. If you have enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.